Welcome back to the Relaxing Ghost channel here on YouTube. Today we got our NXT TakeOver New York pay-per-view predictions. Only 6 matches here, 5 matches. Hope I got all the matches, but looks like a pretty solid card. I'm expecting quite a bit out of this show. This will be tomorrow, Friday afternoon or Friday night. So I'll give you a full day or so to watch the predictions video here. So I definitely expect this show to be. It's probably going to be better than WrestleMania. It's definitely going to be much shorter than WrestleMania. So, yeah, this is the big NXT show of the year, night before WrestleMania and the Hall of Fame. So, first up here, women's title match. It's going to be a fatal four-way. We'll have Shayna Baszler, Kairi Sane, Io Shirai, and Bianca Belair. Honestly, I'm going with Shayna Baszler to retain. I still think she's got a little bit left in her. Kairi's had the title before, unless they want to go with Io Shirai. I think that'd be a good pick. So if you're new to the channel here, I do want to thank everyone. Keep hitting that subscribe. If you got any questions, suggestions, comment down below. If you're in the live chat, let's get your predictions rolling here. With the women's title match, I'm going to go with Shayna to retain. Next up, for the North American Championship, new champion, the Velveteen Dream, defending against Matt Riddle. I do think this will be a decent match, but you know, I do also think Velveteen Dreams had a lot of great opponents in the past, few takeovers. How you doing, man? Welcome everyone to the chat. I'm gonna go with a new champ here, Matt Riddle, to win the title. They're probably gonna do a lot of title changes this weekend. There'll probably be a few more NXT call-ups on Monday Night Raw, and so on and so forth. This is the one year I think you don't really need to do many call-ups. Just work with what you got, because there's a lot of guys that are getting the shaft recently. We got the UK title being defended on this takeover. Pete Dunne has been the champ over 600 days. He's taken on newcomer Walter. I think this is going to be one of those great matches that just kind of come out of nowhere. Pete Dunne, very skilled worker. I think he'll do the honors here, drop the title. He's got more to offer on Raw or SmackDown or something like that. He's had a great run. Let's see what Walter can do with the title. This will probably be one of my favorite matches of the weekend. And next up, for the tag titles, NXT tag titles, you got the War Raiders defending against Dusty Classic winners, Ricochet and Aleister Black. These guys have been appearing on Raw and SmackDown, and they'll also be on WrestleMania. Sami Zayn is the first guy to do that back in 2016. He faced Shinsuke at the TakeOver Dallas and was also part of the IC title ladder match. So that was cool. I don't think we'll see new NXT tag champs here. I think Black and Ricochet are going to stay on the main roster after WrestleMania. Um, but again, I'm not really a fan of the War Raiders. They're they got their own kind of gimmick going. I'm not big on it or anything, but I'm sure this will be a good match. Finally, the main event, NXT Championship on the line. 2 out of 3 falls. It was slotted to be Gargano versus Ciampa. Sadly, Ciampa went down with a neck injury. He already had surgery. I did watch that video on the WWE PC channel. Check that video out, guys. It's pretty cool. Shows Ciampa with his family going to Birmingham, Alabama. Dr. Andrews, um, really cool, man. And it sucks because he was my favorite. You never want to see a guy go down, especially one of your favorites. And this is weird to predict because I probably would have said Gargano would have beat Ciampa for the title, but this is a whole new match here with you got Johnny Gargano challenging Adam Cole for the NXT title. Best 2 out of 3 falls. Um, you could make a case for either guy. Johnny Gargano, again, you talk about guys kind of getting the shaft. Johnny Gargano, he's put on some of the best NXT TakeOver matches past year, past couple of years. Part of DIY, a part of the trilogy he had with Champa. Um, he deserves to win it, but so does Adam Cole, the leader, so to say, of Undisputed Era. Both guys could be on the main roster. Who knows if they have otherwise to keep them in NXT. You know, Johnny Johnny has been appearing on Raw, SmackDown, so I think that's what's going to make people choose Adam Cole to win here. But I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to pick Johnny Gargano to win the title here. I definitely think he deserves it. And even if they want to keep him on Raw, you could have the NXT champ appearing on TVs as well as NXT. He's definitely popular with the fans, and this could be a start of a trilogy with Cole. Have them trade the title back and forth if you want. Adam Cole is super over, and I wouldn't be upset if either guy walked out with the title. Put it that way. Um, any predictions in the chat here? How you doing, man? We only got a couple in the chat. It's a bit late on that. A bit late out here, so the matches are all set for Mania as well. There's going to be 15 matches in total. This might be the longest WrestleMania of all time. Um, Not sure exact start time. It's probably going to start around 5 on the East Coast, and be about a 7-hour show. You know, the Mania build has been lackluster. Tion Couponer, what's going on, man? You know what? I'd really like to see the Undisputed Era holding all the titles. Um, they could still build to that. I wouldn't be against Undisputed Era taking hold of NXT. Um, they were there partially. Now, who was out injured? Fish. Fish was out injured. He's back now, so they're back to the 4 guys. Ivan Cage in the chat. What's going on? You could push Cole as the main champion in NXT. Roddy Strong would be a good candidate for the North American Championship, and then Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly as your tag champs. I wouldn't be against that. I enjoy all 4, uh, especially O'Reilly. I think he's a bit underrated. A lot of guys look past him and Fish quite a bit. Not the biggest fan of Roderick Strong, though. I do think he's good, but I'm not the biggest fan of him. I had this idea about NXT mainstays. Forget about calling all these guys up. Let's keep a couple guys in NXT. Yeah, me too, man. I'm a bit upset he's not going to be competing this weekend. Um, let's keep some NXT mainstays. And what I mean by that, forget about calling everyone up. Let's uh let's build around this undisputed era and have these guys ruling NXT, and eventually you build up to Adam Cole versus Roderick Strong. And I believe you could have them trade the title back and forth a couple of times. Have Adam Cole, he finally defeats Roderick Strong, and then he's the champ for a while, and then maybe 6, 8 months, maybe even a year later, they go at it again. This time Strong ends up going over, and then he has a bit of a run with the title. There's so many different things you could do. Um, I like what Triple H has done with the NXT. He's definitely expanding. They did build a new performance center in the UK. What's everyone's thoughts on this? Yeah, I do have some NXT movies. I got a DVD review collection of the NXT DVDs. Yeah, yeah, man. It's upsetting because you see how well these guys do in the NXT, and and then someone like Finn Balor, he was on top. He was dominant in NXT, very dominant, and he's an afterthought on the main roster. He should be a very good Intercontinental Champion. They did give him the first ever Universal Champ, but sadly he got injured the same match. Didn't get to defend it or nothing, so that sucks. And they teased it. They never really went back to it at all. It, it's it's still up in the air with Finn Balor here. He's definitely someone you could build around. He's over with the fans. He's over with the indie fans. He's over with the older fans as well. What? Did I go to NXT Arena before? No, I don't understand the question, but there's many other guys too. They did push Owens quite a bit. He's held at pretty much every title. Um, when you look at other guys like Sami Zayn, Nakamura, Samoa Joe, he's definitely a guy that could be a world champion. Raw, SmackDown, whatever. Samoa Joe, man, I really want to see him hold a top title before it's all said and done. Nothing against the U.S. title. It should be a stepping stone in today's era, with having so many guys on this roster. But sadly, the U.S. and IC titles, they don't mean squat. No, they did not put Owen Hart in the Hall of Fame. They did put China in the Hall of Fame as part of DX. Sadly, Owen Hart will not be a part of any Hall of Fame anytime soon, unless it's a fan created Hall of Fame. Yeah, Oscar's run has not been bad. It's been poorly booked overall. Um, ah, man, this winner take all at WrestleMania. Um, they shoehorned the title onto Charlotte on SmackDown a week ago. Very strange. The women's main event of WrestleMania 35 will be a winner take all. Not necessarily a title unification match, that's not clear yet, but it is a winner take all. So both titles are on the line. It's going to be weird to see what happens after this. Um, I wish they would unify the titles. Same with the Raw and SmackDown tag titles. Have your three main champions go between brands. Your WWE, your tag, and your women's champs. You could build around a much better storylines that way. Also, what happened to the women's tag titles? This was such a big thing coming out of our big new year, right? Women's tag titles, and yeah, they're here, and we've already forgot about them. How important they are not. I'm an Attitude Era fan. 2000 up to about 2004, 2005. Um, I don't like the oversaturation. We know too much in today's era. I don't like how like we know creative and booking and contracts and this and that, and when someone sneezes they put it on Twitter, and it's just crazy. Today's era, I don't like how they constantly plug everything and this that. It's really crazy. Yeah, the women's tag title is definitely a letdown. I'm shocked they didn't put them on the pre-show this year. Um, but let's see how much time these tag title matches get at WrestleMania. We got two fatal four-way matches for the tag titles, the women's and the SmackDown. Um, I think they'll be given some time, but you got four teams with each match. Well, guys, we almost went 20 minutes. If you got any more questions, send them in now. We'll try to wrap up in a few minutes. I'm not doing WrestleMania predictions right now. I'll be doing WrestleMania predictions tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. If you have any more questions, comments, send your predictions in. Yep, it's a good prediction there. So I want to thank everyone for coming to the NXT TakeOver New York predictions. Comment down below. Hit that thumbs up and hit that subscribe. Send in your suggestions. We'll talk.